Well, I got a lot. I was
Please.
also at a rock and roll show. I went and saw the Dropkick Murphys for the first time in 18 years. I used to go back on St. Patrick's Day back in Boston in 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, back in those days.
This has got to be the highest count of gingers in America at that show.
Oh, it's just blonde eyelashes and backwards Patriots hats.
Woo.
But this is New York, so this is a little more some Yankee caps, and of course they're from Boston, or Ken Casey's from Boston, so everything he says is like, I don't like that yet, and they're like, fuck you, and it was really tense.
Oh, wow.
But it was fun, and Jason, I went with Cantor. He got us hooked up, and it's been like the longest period in between seeing the same band. Like I saw them last time in 2006 or something, so it's been 18 years.
You've changed so much.
Yes, and so has the rest of the crowd. It's funny because I used to go as a boy, and now I'm seeing everyone. We're all in our 40s and 50s, and I aged the best of anybody at the show. I'll tell you that.
There you go.
Yeah, there was some real puggos.
Well, it's Dropkick Murphy fans who never got sober.
Exactly. It's some of the fattest, grossest women I've ever seen, although he's sober. But we go there, and then Cantor's like, hey, it turns out I have 4 tickets. Do you know anyone who wants to go? And I'm like, Dropkick Murphys at the southern tip of Manhattan, 90 minutes before showtime. That's a tough sell. I mean, it's a pretty niche group to begin with.
Yeah, you got to hit every Mick and O'Neill on your phone.
Well, that's a lot of people. So most of them live in Boston. So I texted Ari, and he goes, God, I'd love to, but I'm, taking a bloody shit that I'm going to eat for YouTube. And then I texted Sagalo, and I don't know what the hell he was doing. He had his one spot or whatever.
Yeah.
And I go, no one's going to want to go to fucking... I texted Matt Wayne. He couldn't go. And although Matt Wayne gave me an ambiguous text, he wrote, never really got into them, but it's a great night for a concert. Thanks, buddy.
I think that means I'm not a fan of the band.
Yeah, but couldn't that go either way, weirdly?
Should have just hearted it.
That's anything I read it, and I was like, oh, he's not coming. And I was like, wait, is he coming?
It's a little vague. It's open-ended.
Because it's never really got into them.
Yeah.
But it's a great night for a concert. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait. I wanted to make sure. I was like, are you coming or not? It felt like George with the wink with Kramer. I'm like, just confirm. I couldn't tell.
Pulp can move, baby.
Because there's nothing worse than being like, he's out, and then he's just outside crying, and he's like, where's my ticket? And I'm like, I gave it to a hobo.
That's on him. I think that was a soft letdown. It was very soft.
He was
soft.
out. Yeah, he was out. But so then I get down there, and as I'm pulling in, first of all, it's also annoying because it's like a 45-minute ride, and it's 8 minutes from where I'm moving to. Like in 2 weeks, I could walk to this concert.
That's a bitch.
Now I'm in a $75 car ride. I get down there. It's right across the street from Pace University. I go, my niece goes to Pace. I text her. I go, I don't know if you're into this band. She's into country music. You probably never heard of them. But
cool uncle.
It's a free ticket. It's an 8-minute walk. And she goes, I'll be right over.
Oh, the niece.
So I'm the hero. She comes over, and then I talk to security. We've already scanned. It's 4 passes in 1 ticket. We've already scanned the 2. So they're like, you can't leave, and it's going to be hard. You can't transfer the ticket because it's already been used. And he goes, let me talk to my superior officer. Goes over, gets the security guy, black guy, comes over with the yellow vest, and he goes, oh, shit, Joe List?
Oh, 2 for 2 at the concert.
He goes, Joe List, you need something done? And I go, oh, yeah, my niece. He goes, Joe List's niece, I'll be right back.
Oh.
So now it's scary because she's from Whitman. I got to call her and be like, okay, it's a black man who's going to come get you, but not in the way my grandmother warned you about.
Right.
No need to use the family whistle. He's a good guy. And, so I'm like, hopefully this guy's cool. He knows me, whatever. So he goes down there. He brings her up. She's, duct tape and hogtied and crying. I'm kidding. He was awesome. He hooked it right up.
Hell yeah.
Killer. But it's so crazy to just have a guy be like, oh, Joe List. Yeah, I'll go get your niece.
Love a yellow vest black.
So she came in. So this is exciting because she's gone to all these country shows at like Gillette Stadium.
Wow.
She's like, this is the closest I've ever been to the band ever. Because we're like, it's Dropkick. So we're like 10 feet away or whatever. The show rules. I don't know that she loved it, but it was exciting for her to see a band up close and this bagpipe. So she's like, this is crazy.
Hell yeah.
And she's young, so she's just like, I just walked 10 minutes and now I'm at a rock concert.
Yeah.
And I don't think she's ever seen a mosh pit. I was like, look at the mosh. Have you ever seen a mosh pit? And she's like this, a what?
Oh, how
she's
weird
like
is that?
The tiger shark guy in Jaws. She's like, a what? And I'm pointing. I'm like, look at it. And then you see like the guys are in like their 50s in the pit and they're doing the thing and the fun.
Sure.
And that was great fun. And the show kicked ass, so I walked her back to school. Oh, yeah, and then this one. What do you make of this?
Walked her back to school is such a weird sentence.
Very strange. What do you make of this? So Dropkicks, it used to be a lot of fights there. It's very fighty. It's like fucking...
Yeah, it's aggro.
Stand up and fight, and I'll stand up with you. And it's a real fighty Boston Irish drop kick.
Yes.
It was always like that, and they used to play on like Lansdowne Street in Boston, which is like where the nightclubs were. So it'd be like the kind of punks beating up the nightclub kids. But now we're all fucking retiring age.
Right.
But there's still a little bit of that.
Oh, it's in there.
So I had a drunk, hammered guy with like blue blockers on, sunglasses, and a Celtics hat.
Uh-oh.
And I could tell I kept seeing it because he was just hammered. Walks up to me. It's me and Canner and my niece, and there's like a plastic cocktail cup on the ground, like at my feet. And the guy walks up, you're me, and he just goes like this.
Ooh.
And he's like kicking it against my feet.
What the fuck? Is he an umpire?
I think that's what he was like. And he was like trying to bait me. And I feel like I handled it quite well. I was like this. And he was like making eye contact while he's kicking the cup at me. And I'm going like this. And then I just started looking over him at the show. And I'm like that. Yeah, fucking ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-boo.
You went ignore route.
He walks around, then he's back this way, and he leans back around like here, like this.
Whoa, man.
And I went like that. And my niece is here. And I'm like this. But did it, boo. Now, I have to say, I have some fight training. This guy, I'm sure, has been in a million street fights because he's a dipshit.
Yeah.
But he's also hammered.
Oh,
and
you
so I'm
got
sitting
him.
there, I'm thinking, I think I can handle this guy. He's in a fucking blackout. I got Canner over here, but he's like getting married in a couple weeks. He's like, I can't get in a fight. And I'm like, I understand, but maybe you could
back me up.
You could throw a fucking punch to the side of the head at this guy.
Drop kick.
But he's got a buddy also, and now he's behind me, so it's a little tricky because this guy wants to fight somebody.
He's antagonizing.
And
your uncle.
And he's
Joe.
behind me, but I got my niece here. And so he kind of, and he goes, I'm sorry, man, I had to. I saw the cup and I had to. And I went, okay, cool, bro. And then just kept watching the show. And then I heard him go, man, I cannot get anybody to fucking fight me. I overhear him. So he's literally trying to fight. And you're like, what are you doing?
I know.
And also I'm like, go find a homeless guy on fucking, we're downtown.
Yes.
Why do you come to a show of seemingly you like the band. We like the band. Why are you fucking up people's night?
I know. Well, I think people go there. It's almost like going to a strip club. You're like, maybe I'll get laid. I hope I get laid. I'm going to go to this other thing to get into a fight. This Dropkick Murphy show, this is where I'll fight and get it out. It's just two different versions of connecting with someone and getting out aggression. Fucking and fighting.
Well, that's the thing. And I grew up like that. It was like that. Or where I didn't grow up like that. Where I grew up was like that, I should say. It's like Good Will Hunting, that thing of like, let's go fuck up some smart kids. And that's what we used to do there. I keep saying we. People at the show. I always was avoiding fights, even in my 20s. But it's like, like I said, go fight a fucking guy who's drunk in the street.
I know.
You're going to get me thrown out of the show.
I know. I bought a
sucks.
ticket. Also, if the guy's, legless, one of these...
Right.
Across the kisser, and he's out. It's not even a fight.
Yeah, of course I had that thought. My heart's like racing because I'm like, I'm so much quicker than this guy.
Yeah.
But he's got his buddy, and now all of a sudden we're in a melee, and I'm thrown out of the show. I got my fucking 20-year-old niece here.
Yeah, get down on your knees.
And in general, fighting is never going to go great. You're going to fuck up your hand, your wrist, your finger. You get to go to jail. And then now I'm spending the night in downtown Manhattan jail.
And
so
it's not even a good fight story. What happened? A guy fucked your wife? Nah, he kicked a cup.
He kicked a plastic cup in the middle of the fucking, Irish Rover.
Yeah.
But it was annoying. But the best part of the show was, they're a big pro-union band, and they're singing this union fight song. And this guy in the front row starts climbing up to the thing, and big black security guy starts pulling him down and is kind of fighting with him. And then Ken Casey, the leader of the band, just grabs the security guy and goes, no, get out of here. Let him up. Lets this guy up. This guy crawls up on stage. He's got a big, IBEW, or maybe it was Iron Workers Union.
Oh.
This is the biggest guy I've ever seen. Biggest, drunkest, scariest guy. Guy looks like he weighs 240. He's in the Iron Workers Union. He's just running amok on stage, and the Dropkicks are just playing and letting him go. I'm like, this is crazy. And he was getting the microphone and singing. They got their arm around him. I'm like, this is crazy.
Wow.
Any other band would have him shot and kick him back in the thing and they'll arrest him, mace him. This guy was just part of the band for a song.
Well, he's probably their niece. I mean, he knows these guys, I'm sure.
It was crazy, and the security guard, I couldn't believe it. He was just like, he must have been like, what is going on? Okay, just let him in there.
I had the same thought when I was watching King's Leon. I'd taken a few shrooms, which is weird because the wife is sober. So I'm always like, is this annoying to you? She's like, no, I like living through you. So you take them.
Oh, that's nice.
She's bored.
Yeah, she hates sober you.
Soundboard. Yeah.
What you told me.
So I'm on the shrooms. I'm looking up at the audience. And there's a security guard, young black guy. This kid probably lives in Queens. He got a job at Forest Hill Stadium. And I'm like, he must just be studying the honkies. You know, like it's a sea of white people just like, you know, yucking it up and dancing to rock music. And I always wonder, like, this is every stereotype. No one can dance. It's all stiff crackers out there. And now I'm on shrooms thinking about what he's thinking. But I got to tell you, there was a few times where I caught him swaying.
Oh,
and
really?
I felt connected to him because I was like, we're all the same, man. Black, white, who gives a shit about the stereotypes and George Floyd? Let's enjoy this.
No one gives a shit about George Floyd.
All right. Well, I wonder if you're a big black guy at the Dropkick Murphy. You couldn't get a whiter show.
Right.
It's the most Irish show on the planet, and there's a mosh pit, there's Iron Worker, there's Pasty, there's red hair, there's no potato famine, but he's just staring at everybody like, oh, this is going to be a crazy show.
Right.
This is a white show.
There's also something I think about, again, people are older now. There's something about less, not in all situations, but sometimes less security is better. Like the more you try to be like, get the fuck down, the more hostile they get. The more you're like, bring him up. Who cares? The guy, like, he can't do crazy shit now. He's like, oh, they let me up here. I guess I'll just bounce around. But it was intense, and clearly the music was resonating with him, and it was exciting. And then he just, after the song, he went back down to his seat.
Hey, look at that. All right, it worked out. He could have gotten tased. The guy had a feeling like I can get away with this.
Well, that's why the singer kind of stepped in and said, "Hey, let him be." But it was a kick-ass show, and it was fun to walk her back. And I felt like a real mensch, you know.
Yeah,
and,
cool uncle. I'm telling you, Dropkick Murphy concert, 10-minute walk, amazing.